Are real estate agents gearing up for a pay cut? Fortune magazine says roughly $30 billion could be slashed from real estate agents' commissions. Fed economists pose solution to the anomaly in the American housing market. Richmond Fed economists suggest an a la carte model for real estate commissions, arguing it could redistribute buyers' agents' profits to the tune of billions of dollars. This is an interesting one. This is a little bit of if I was a real estate agent, I would be pissed. Yeah, if I was a real estate agent, I would be pissed. But I'd also realize that this is just a natural evolution of business, and you're being phased out. Especially in a world of crybabies and entitled, spoiled brats who will only complain when they don't get their way. But we'll dive into this and discuss it a little bit further. Buying a home is expensive these days, but not just because of sky-high prices and burdensome mortgage rates. Costly commissions for real estate agents are eating into home buyers' bottom lines too. In fact, Americans pay roughly $100 billion in real estate commissions annually. But the good news, at least for anyone who isn't a real estate agent, is a new working paper titled Real Estate Commissions and Home Buying suggests that roughly $30 billion of U.S. real estate agents' commissions could be slashed by using a new compensation model. This new compensation model is likely going to ruin and destroy the house. I don't want to say the entire housing market, but the home buying experience is going to go down the drain. There are going to be a lot of unhappy and unsatisfied homeowners, and quite possibly some very unhappy and unsatisfied sellers as well. When you remove competition from the market, it creates this very bland and very stale environment that is similar to a socialist or communist regime. And in essence, there are no real winners, at least not from the perspective of the general masses of society and those buyers engaging in home and real estate transactions. But what do I know? Richmond Federal Reserve Bank senior economist Boris Grucholski and Vice President of Research Zhu Wang argued that the U.S. model for real estate commissions is puzzling and an anomaly when compared with other systems abroad. The pair note that home sellers in the UK, Ireland, and the Netherlands, Singapore, Sweden, and Norway pay less than 2% in commissions to their real estate agents on average, when compared to 5.5% in the U.S. But yeah, it's America. America. Everything's bloated here, right? As for buyers, a large portion in many countries, including Australia, Canada, and Denmark, purchase properties without agent representation, while 87% of home buyers use an agent in the U.S., according to National Association of Realtors data. And that's a huge percentage of Americans choosing to use buy-side agents, considering half of all buyers find their own homes online anyway. I'm gonna reread that one. As for buyers, a large portion in many countries, including Australia, Canada, and Denmark, purchase properties without agent representation. Well, think about it. A home is going to be one of the most expensive purchases you'll ever make, more than likely. Unless you're buying a business, or maybe rare art, or a massive diamond, or a rare and expensive exotic car, or unless you're buying a mega yacht. Anything, really. Or some overvalued, overpriced NFT. But for the most part, real estate, land, a house, a home, townhouse, condo, will be the most expensive purchase. But for the average person, the average American, middle class, working class, family, a home is going to be your most expensive purchase ever. And beyond that, let's just say, with the how expensive cars have gotten now, a car could theoretically be your second most expensive purchase. $50, $60, $70, $80, $100,000 for a vehicle, maybe more. $150,000 honestly, $200,000 for a vehicle is not unheard of in a regular sense. For instance, if you wanted a Cadillac Escalade V, a new C8 Corvette Z06, or new Corvette C8 Z06. I don't really know what order I should put that in. Mustang STD or DTS or SDT, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. I really hope they didn't call it an STD. I gotta look that up. Hell, even if you want a new Nissan Z, those are getting up there with the markups, and it's just ridiculous. It's completely asinine. Now, I did see an old Datsun 280 that I would pretty much sell an organ to get, but that's another story. But when you buy these expensive vehicles or an expensive watch, for instance, a new Rolex or Patek Philippe or an Omega or whatever your taste may be, Hublot maybe even, you don't need any representation besides an authorized dealer, of course, but you can just walk in off the street and make the purchase yourself. Even if you wanted to buy a business, you could probably do that as well. Granted, you may want to have an attorney present and a lawyer drafting and drawing up these documents for the sale and the transaction, a notary public. And it's actually interesting because I was looking up just the other day about selling YouTube channels, because this is a business of growing YouTube channels and ultimately selling them to people so that they don't have to do the work to gain an audience and get watch time hours and ultimately get monetized. They can just jump right in and begin making money. But you don't need any representation. So when you go and buy a house, which there was a point in time where houses actually cost less than vehicles. Think about it. You could have gone out and bought a house for $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, $150,000, and it would actually cost less than, you know, a new Jeep Grand Wagoneer, I think is what it's called. It's a really ugly SUV, but it's expensive. All right, it's a Mustang GTD. I knew that wasn't right. Actually, I saw a woman just the other day. She had a new Range Rover, and I know that this Range Rover had to be at least 200 grand. And here's this Range Rover. I gotta check the specs on this one because I'm not a huge Range Rover fan, but this one is pretty sick. And very short, it happened. That Range Rover is a 2023, maybe 2024 Range Rover SV. I've never seen that before. And I gotta tell you guys, for 200 grand, it's not the most capable or versatile, and therefore probably wouldn't spend that much money on it, but it does look pretty cool. But I actually have a list here of some of the most expensive SUVs, and this is 2023, so we're probably pretty close. 2024, you only expect the prices to go up even higher, right? And we got a Maserati Levante at 90 grand, a Tesla Model X at 97, Mercedes-Benz EQS at 104, the Land Rover Range Rover at 106.5, and these are all probably base starting prices. A Mercedes-Benz G-Class at 139.9, and Aston Martin DBX 188,986, and that G-Wagon, actually we saw one the other day in Fort Walton. That joker had to be $300,000. Bentley Bentayga 200 grand, Lamborghini Urus 234,000, Rolls-Royce Cullinan 355,000. These are all vehicles I see on the road on a regular basis. Now granted, I haven't seen a Ferrari Parasangue yet, but give it time. $402,050. And you can literally just go in and buy it. You don't need representation. So why do you need representation to make a real estate purchase that could quite possibly be less expensive than the vehicle you drove to closing in? But it does say 87% of home buyers in the US use an agent, according to the National Association of Realtors and their data. And that's a huge percentage of Americans choosing to use buy-side agents, considering half of all buyers find their own homes online anyway. Thanks, Zillow. I don't know. I feel some kind of way. Just because you found a home online, I don't think necessarily makes you qualified to engage in contract negotiations in your best interest, especially if we're considering that the buy side of the deal is going to go up against a real estate professional on the sell side of the deal. You're undergunned. You're unmatched. Your opponent is going to have far more skill and experience and training than you, so therefore odds are you're not going to win. And from the perspective of folks going out there and buying used cars, sure, you found it online yourself, but are you a trained mechanic? Can you do a pre-purchase inspection? Do you feel very confident in what you're buying and trust that it's going to be worth it when you drive it off the lot and it's not going to cause you any expensive problems that need immediate attention, maintenance, and repair? Some things are best left to professionals. As we continue on reading here, it says that all of these issues with real estate agents' current compensation model contributes to elevated home prices, overused agent services, and prolonged home searches. In order to correct the problem, the economists proposed a new a la carte model for buy-side real estate agents that could reduce buyers' commissions by roughly $30 billion. So the next collective group that's going to be crying and screaming is going to be those who have essentially had their income slashed because they are real estate agents and they are now facing the possibility of an a la carte buy-side business model that cuts their pay substantially. The results suggest that switching to a cost-based commission model may increase U.S. home buyers and their welfare by more than $30 billion. $30 billion a year. So this sounds like it just sounds like coddling, basically. Coddling for the home buyer at the expense of the agent who's working hard to get you the home that you really want and you're going to be happy with. Most of the consumer welfare gains would come from the redistribution of buyer agents' profits. The greatest wealth transfer of all times, folks, the Great Reset. The a la carte compensation model would require both home buyers and sellers to pay their own agents separately and independent of the final home price in the transaction. Now this sounds good, but this also means that buyers are going to have to come out of pocket. They may not be able to roll this into financing. In order to prevent something called steering, where agents tend to direct their clients away from properties that have low commissions, they're proposing that this a la carte compensation model is the answer. I'm not a real estate agent, but I do know that no matter what industry you're in, odds are you're probably going to be more inclined to direct sales, conversions, and transactions towards you making the most money possible. Now, this is not me saying that agents are steering or agents are effectively costing their clients money, especially on the buy side, but I can say that it's a double-edged sword. And the fact that homeowners, sellers, choose to go with discount rate budget brokers that effectively don't sell your home are also part of the problem. It says here that the model would also force home buyers, but not sellers, to pay for each task that their agent undertakes individually, whether it's searching for a home, helping with negotiations, or showing properties, hence the a la carte name. The economists argue that this would enable consumers to shop around for individual buyer agent services and even haggle for a better price. Under such a system, competition among agents would likely align agent compensation with cost, and buyers would not overuse agent services. Look, guys, I'm telling you right now, this is a terrible idea for buyers. It's an awful idea for buyers, especially uneducated buyers, or for instance, first-time home buyers. As a first-time home buyer, you don't know what you don't know. And if you think you're going to go into this situation and pick and choose and cherry pick and a la carte the services you want to get from whomever you want to get them, you are going to want to freaking blow your brains out, especially when these agents realize that their services are undervalued and they will not put you as a top priority. Talk about missing out on a great opportunity. because your agent doesn't bother to call you back because they're getting paid peanuts. I'm not saying that it will happen, but it could. You get what you pay for. The new paper from the Richmond Fed comes at a difficult moment for real estate agents. The National Association of Realtors and several national brokerage firms are facing multiple lawsuits alleging collusion to inflate real estate agent commissions. This after a jury in Kansas City sided against NAR, National Association of Realtors, last fall in a similar case, leaving the organization with a $1.8 billion judgment, which it plans to appeal. Now, I do want to do a little bit of research here to find out that if they are on the hook for this judgment, will it come out of the pockets of real estate agents who have been paid these commissions? Ouch. The pressure on real estate agent commissions has been so intense that it even prompted the noted short seller Spruce Point Capital to put out a short report on Zillow, the real estate marketplace that derives a large portion of its revenues from buyer agent commissions, warning that the company's stock price could drop up to 60%. One of the major issues the short seller cited was analysis that shows recent lawsuits could change the way buyer agent commissions are handled, leading the total addressable market of commissions to drop as much as 30%. Yeah, if agents aren't going to be earning the commissions that they need, or at least that they have been, that would allow them to continue to support Zillow's lead generation and marketability services, then you damn right Zillow's stock is going to plummet. Still, in spite of the negative impact of changing the current compensation structure for the real estate industry, Wang and Groski believe that a new model for commissions is necessary, and their a la carte approach would likely be the best option for the economy as a whole, from eliminating agents' incentive to steer clients away from low commission homes and increasing housing search efficiency to enable buyers to use multiple agents throughout the home buying process, putting agents' time toward more productive uses. The economists lauded their model's potential benefits. Quote, "We propose that policymakers may consider shifting to an a la carte model," they concluded. I'm gonna tell you right now, it says here, enabling buyers to use multiple agents throughout the home buying process, putting agents' time toward more productive uses. Agents are not going to waste their time bouncing back and forth between buyers who are not going to pay them, or at least not allow them the ability to be paid and compensated for the work, effort, energy, their skill, their knowledge, their expertise, their tenure, their proven track record. It's not going to happen. You're going to get the bottom of the barrel. You're going to get the worst of the worst. And home buyers are going to be screaming in a few years after they have made purchases that they find out are in fact the worst decisions that they've ever made on quite possibly the most expensive item purchase that they will ever be involved with in their entire lives. Wait for this to unfold, folks, because it's not going to be good. It's only going to get worse. As I drop my phone on the ground, I'm trying to get more light here. But I do have some consideration, and that is the no commission model seems to work for CarMax in comparison to other car dealerships that are on a fully commission-based structure. Could the reduced commission model work for real estate? Only time will tell. But I can tell you guys this right now. Whatever real estate agent that we choose to use, we choose to go with, y'all gonna get your commission, because you're not gonna go out there and bust your hump and work hard like I know you do to get screwed and get gypped.
I can tell you my problems, meditating my silence, but I keep pushing my pen, rotating my stylus. Brokenness feeling like sin, now no breath, low dollar. Used to be left on red, now all the girls go holler. Now all the girls go follow.